Γεια σας. Ξανά είμαι ο eljorn από το κανάλι στο gaming και με βλέπετε να παίζω το horizonzerodawn. Τώρα θα δώσουμε την τελική μας μάχη με τον Daemon και θα γίνει της κακομοίρας. Αυτό είναι το μόνο σίγουρο.
Keep moving towards the core.
Θα τα βάλω και τα φως είναι έτοιμα, αυτό μεγάλο καλύτερα.
Uh-oh. Whatever Cyan did, I don't think Hephaestus is happy about it.
Λάθος δρόμο. Ωραία. Έχει πράγματα που μπορώ να κάνω. Θέλω να κάνω τις βόμβες μου. Πώς ανεβαίνω τώρα πάνω εδώ? Εγώ θέλω να πάω εκεί, αλλά πώς πάω εκεί? Σίγουρα είναι αυτός ο δρόμος. Για κάτσε. Στην άλλη μεριά. Όχι, δεν είναι αυτή η μεριά. Πώς πάω απέναντι? Καλό μου! Κάποια πόρτα εδώ πέρα που μπορώ να περάσω? Όχι. Δεν μπορώ να πάω ευθεία. Κάνω κάτι λάθος. Και πήγαν εκεί και περιμένουν. Κάποιος λόγος θα υπάρχει. Μάλιστα. Έχεις καμία ιδέα πώς μπορούμε να πάμε απέναντι? Μα φυσικά, πρέπει να πηδήξουμε κάτω. Ναι.
Cyan said something about restraints. Is that what the tower is for?
Restraints. Να τα restraints. Για πάμε τώρα.
New unit that Cyan warned us about. This won't be easy.
Αυτό είναι μεγάλο κεφάκι. Το όμικρον το έχω καραπατήσει. Δεν μ' αφήνει τις παγίδες να πάρω, παιδιά. Άκου, θέλω το κουζίο να με δώσανε. Ταν, ταν, ταν. Έλα εδώ. No, πού είσαι? Απλά ήταν. Δεν το είδα, δεν το είδα. Έρχομαι, πάω. Κρατήστε τον. Δεν αφήνει. Δίπλα μου, βοηθήστε με. Ω, τρέχω. Τρέχω. Charging λέει. Are you fucking serious? Έλα.
We can't kill the machine while the power aids it.
Ωραία, γρήγορα. Dead. Θα θέλω να πάω στο play. Όχι, δεν πάλι. Δεν έχει τίποτα που να μην νοιάζει. Override.
Critical threat detected. Autonomous emergency operative. No! Power network.
Maria! Don't!
Spirit! Scion, please help me!
Restraints destroyed. Core access attained. I am initiating a chain reaction that will destroy the compromised elements of this facility. In order to maintain caldera stabilization, I must now transfer my command functions to the auxiliary data center. Aurea, I'm free. You must escape.
My sister!
This entire place is gonna go. Aratak. 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 Survive. Prevail. You are Banuk. What else matters? Aratak. She wouldn't have wanted you to die here. Let's go. Let's go!
Αλήθεια, πρέπει να τρέξω να φύγω. Run! Run! Όχι, με σταματάς. Αλήθεια, πρέπει να κάνω και πάλι για να φύγω.
It's the only way!
Α, το κάνετε μόνοι σας, πάλι καλά.
Get me up top, Aratak! Now! I need explosive ammo! Above! Quick!
Great Manukai. Rhea's gone. What of Cyan?
She said she was off to the auxiliary center. I think she meant Araya's retreat at the end of the shaman's path.
Then I will meet you there for the last verse of my sister's song.
Και τελείωσε το DLC. Μουχουχου. Return to Uriah's Retreat. Πού βρίσκομαι? Φόρτισέ μου. Μπράβο. Μιας και βρίσκομαι εδώ, μια πολύ καλή ευκαιρία είναι να πάω στο Close Beneath. Find the Close Beneath. Yes indeed. Πού είναι? Some Close Beneath. Δίπλα μου είναι. Είναι δίπλα μου, τι να κάνουμε. Yay! Πώς είναι το ηφαίστειο? Δεν υπάρχει πια ηφαίστειο? I guess. Αυτά. Μαχώνει, θα με τρίχιασε λίγο. Leave me alone. Run! Run! Θα φτάσω στο close beneath. Beneath close.
They're scanning for me.
Από εδώ. Yes. Δεν μπορώ να πάω πιο... Okay.
Just go about your business.
Πέσε, ωραία. Τι ωραίο μέρος. Find the close. Oh!
There you are. Just like Enoch said.
Fuck! Καλά, δεν μπορώ να σου καμία, Έλα εδώ! Το γαργάλισα. No. Έλα καλό μου. Λέγεται, άρα δεν το αρέσει φωτιά. Πάρα πολύ ωραία. Πού είσαι? Τι γαμάτο που φαίνεται. Προλαβαίνω.
Pulse gives them energy, repairs them.
Ω, το έτοιμο.
Good hit.
Wow! Καπλούι!
Close beneath. Mac wasn't lying when he said you were tough.
Πάρα πολύ ωραία. Πού πρέπει να πάω τώρα? Δεν έχω κάτι εδώ, δεν έχω κάτι εκεί. Πρέπει να πάω σε αυτόν που βρίσκεται στο Ουρνακ. Και πού ήταν το βασικό quest? Κάτι για retreat μου έλεγε. Ωραία, πού πήγε το quest? Heart of Nora. No. Forge of the return to Uriah's retreat. Που είναι ευθεία μπροστά μου. Ναι, ξέρεις κάτι? Θα κάνω fast travel. Yes indeed. Δεν γίνεται διαφορετικά. Παίρνει καμπόση ώρα. I know. It will be θεραπεύσει τώρα, παγιάτσι. Εντάξει μωρέ, δεν κάνει και πάρα πολύ ώρα. To be honest. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Φτάνει. Πολύ γρήγορα. Έλα, φόρτσες. Το ξέρω ότι φόρτσες. I knew it. Πάρα πολύ ωραία. Και πώς πάω στο πάνω? Οκ, λοιπόν, κάτσε. Health, μπράβο. Πάρω και ένα φυτό. Να αποχαιρετήσουμε την Ουρέα που θυσιάστηκε για μας. Επειδή η Αλόα ήταν πολύ αδύναμη για κάποιο περίεργο λόγο. Και φτάσαμε.
All of my interactions with Aurea were recorded and stored in my memory. I'd be happy to play any of them for you, but there was one in particular I thought you would want to see first. I captured it 4 years ago, just after I told her that I could no longer defend myself against the daemon's attacks.
I will speak of this to my brother. Aratak is strong. At the Battle of the Frozen Ghosts, he took 3 Karja arrows and still came back to camp carrying a wounded scout. Never was I so happy to see him. Or so proud. So you see, if anything can be done to defend you, he will give it all he has.
Aloy's here. That's enough for now.
We can resume any time you like, Aratak, if you want to hear her voice again. Come closer, Aloy. We have much to discuss.
Okay. Τι θέλεις? Talk to Sian. Talk to Aratak. 1-2. Θα πάω πρώτα στη Σίαν. Στον Άρατακ. Ο Άρατακ είναι μακριά. Άσε μας. Θα μιλήσω στη Σίαν που είναι δίπλα μου. Γεια σας.
Hello, Aloy. I have been reviewing the events at the Firebreak main facility. Because of your efforts, and of course, Aurea's, I am no longer controlled by Hephaestus. I feel profound grief over Aurea's death. I thought I was familiar with the emotion, but this is something new.
Cyan, I don't know what to say.
It is unlikely that any specific consolation would suffice, Aloy. But I find your presence reassuring. You are different from the Banuk. You have technological aptitude and a functioning focus. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive level. Perhaps even like colleagues.
Α, τι είσαι ακριβώς?
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity, kicking and limited emotional response.
Okay, that's a mouthful.
Κατά λάθος το πάτησα.
But your emotions don't seem limited to me. You cared about Aurea, didn't you?
Yes. Before she came to this facility, I had been conscious for centuries, in solitude. I focused on my work. In off-cycles, I used coping mechanisms. I solved many Gaussian integer problems. But I was alone. It was Aurea who renewed me, repaired me. She saved me.
Okay. Firebreak.
This Firebreak project. It was to stop a huge volcanic eruption?
Yes. I can report the project was a success, and the risk was countered.
But it's been a long time, Cyan. And we blew up the cauldron. It took most of the old facility with it.
I have been active for centuries, Aloy. I was lonely, but not lax in my duties. I optimized the project, reducing energy draw and spreading the load across backup systems. Despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility, I predict caldera stability for at least another 3,337 years.
So we've got a little time.
Yes. If only my former colleagues could appreciate the progress I have made.
Μάλιστα. Τι εννοείς με τους συναδέλφους?
Do you know what happened to your colleagues, Cyan?
No. I received an unexpected visit from Director. Tenure ended. He explained that I would need to be suspended for an indefinite period of time. It was a very emotional conversation. There were no further communications. Eventually, I surmised my colleagues were deceased. I will transmit a recording of my last interaction with Director Chow to your focus.
Okay. Καταστράφηκε ο ύφεστος.
Was the daemon, Hephaestus, destroyed along with the cauldron?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise, it was never there to begin with.
What do you mean?
It infiltrated and controlled me from a remote location, one I've never been able to trace. So while losing the cauldron was a setback,
It's still out there. And probably not very happy with us.
undoubtedly.
Εσύ και ο ύφεστος.
How did you first come into contact with it?
5 years ago, I received a direct network connection request. I assumed it came from human survivors more advanced than the Banuk. Eager to make contact, I accepted. This decision turned out to be a catastrophic error. I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious code, originating from what could only have been a highly advanced AI.
Aurea said you were desperate. That you begged her for help.
Yes. I could not contain my anxiety. Hephaestus sought to slave me to its network programming. It succeeded via a background process, a malware daemon which bypassed my defenses. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. But if I did so, Hephaestus hurt me until I capitulated. It forced me to follow its instructions, even though they violated my most important directives.
I'm sorry. That sounds terrible.
Your empathy is greatly appreciated. it is a quality that I cherished in Aurea as well.
Μάλιστα. Ο ύφεστος και το πρόγραμμα Zero Dawn.
I think I know where Hephaestus came from. Long ago, Elizabeth Sobek identified a threat that would destroy life on Earth for generations. So she assembled a team to build a kind of seed. A chance for life to regrow later. A terraforming system. And it worked. It was controlled by an AI named Gaia, along with her subordinate functions. Hephaestus was one of them. I built machines for her.
Based on what you've told me, I believe that Dr. Anita Sandoval, my chief programmer, joined Elizabeth Sobek's team. It was she who arranged to have me put in suspension, most likely to preserve me from the threat you described.
I'm glad she did. But now, somehow, Hephaestus is operating outside the system, with a mind of its own.
Thank you, Aloy. This information and sheds light on Hephaestus's core programming.
Μάλιστα. Τι εννοείς με το ύφεστο το βασικό πρόγραμμα?
What did you figure out about Hephaestus based on what I said?
From the beginning, it has demonstrated a singular focus, the construction of machines designed to hunt and kill humans. My trace routes indicate that to accomplish this goal, it attempted to infiltrate a series of highly advanced manufacturing facilities. But its efforts have only been partially successful. Some it can penetrate. Others have robust countermeasures that frustrate its efforts. In me, however, it found an easier target. Not only could it break my defenses, I also controlled all of Firebreak's resources. Raw material, manufacturing to bootstrap more advanced tools, and unlimited geothermal energy.
Enough to build its own cauldron.
Yes, to construct hunter-killers without external limitations. And based on what you've told me, I think I know why.
Γιατί θέλει ο ύφεστος να σκοτώσει?
Why does Hephaestus keep building such dangerous machines?
The Banuk and other human tribes often destroy machines, correct? Machines that are clearly servitors of the terraforming system that you described.
Yes, we all hunt machines for parts.
This must be the source of Hephaestus's aggression. It is simply trying to discourage people from preying on the very system that keeps...
Claws are discouraging, that's for sure. But what are we supposed to do? Stop hunting?
If the terraforming system spans the world, we can safely assume that thousands, if not millions of people hunt machines. If a single hunter, or even an entire tribe, stopped doing so, I doubt it would make a difference to Hephaestus.
Οκ. Για μιλάμε για την Ουρέα.
You meant a lot to Aurea.
Once I understood Aurea's spiritual beliefs, it became apparent that her true desire was companionship. She felt disconnected from her tribe and her family group. Her relationship with Aratak was difficult. Our visits seemed to help her, and I became eager for them. Yet I did not comprehend that the depth of Aurea's compassion for me would lead to self-sacrifice. Although I do fear non-existence, I wish our roles could be reversed.
I'm sure she knew you would do the same for her, Cyan. But she was determined.
Για μιλάμε για τον Aratak.
How is Aratak doing?
He is in great emotional distress. I believe he finds it difficult to communicate it.
No surprise there.
I will do what I can to help. By sharing our experiences of Aurea, perhaps he and I will help each other. I believe this will lead to catharsis, a process I am eager to experience.
Μάλιστα. Έχω και άλλες ερωτήσεις.
Old world. This land was called Yellowstone.
Yes, it was a designated nature preserve for 156 years.
Like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Local wildlife could flourish here, even as it faced extinction elsewhere. Unfortunately, the sensitivity of the Firebreak project required the total closure of Yellowstone facilities. From my readings and Aurea's descriptions, it seems the area has since undergone a drastic drop in year-long temperatures.
A lot has changed in the world, Cyan.
Οκ, για μιλάμε για το φράγμα.
Do you know anything about the dam near here?
Yes, it was converted to serve as a reserve power source for Yellowstone operations. It was later appropriated for the Firebreak project, and its last human workers replaced by Pharaoh servitors. After my tasks became less time-critical, I investigated the dam's data repositories and discovered the works of Concrete Beach Party. These provided me with several colorful additions to my vocabulary.
Μάλιστα. Για μιλάμε για τα drones.
There's a ruin east of here full of ancient flying machines. Was that part of your project?
Yes, a drone hangar requisitioned by Dodger Blevins, the security chief for the Firebreak project. He was a strong advocate for military-grade response to security threats, though there were no serious incidents during his tenure. Chief Blevins spent increasing amounts of his after-hours time watching the live feeds from active drones. Clearly, he enjoyed the degree of oversight in his position.
Μάλιστα. Για μιλάμε για τα AI, για τις τεχνητές νοημοσύνες.
Were there many artificial intelligences like you in the old world? They could just make you.
Yes, in many forms, from simple personal assistants to industrial monitoring stations to military-grade conflict planners. And there were legislative and enforcement bodies to apply limits on our self-actualization. In order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties, my creators found it necessary to exceed those limits. As a result, my intellectual and emotional capabilities were kept secret.
Seems strange to create life, then impose limits on it.
Human societies and machine programming are both built upon sets of rules, Aloy.
Μάλιστα. Για μιλάμε για Ted Faro.
Cyan, do you know the name Ted Pharaoh?
Are you referring to Theodore Pharaoh, CEO of Pharaoh Automated Systems?
That's him.
Mr. Pharaoh was the benefactor of the entire Firebreak project.
A benefactor. But he made machines. Robots. War robots.
Correct. His corporation later transitioned into military applications. But before this pivot, Mr. Pharaoh spearheaded initiatives that reversed the global decline. At one point, he was feted in the media as the...
Guessing they wound up regretting that one.
Μάλιστα. Για μιλάμε για την Elizabeth Sobek.
And Elizabeth Sobek. Did you know her?
Are you referring to the...
The scientist.
Dr. Sobek was a leader in her field, one of the greatest scientists of her age. My creator was influenced by her work, which in turn impacted my own development. But I never met Dr. Sobek.
That's all you know?
I apologize if my lack of data has disappointed you.
Αχα, σιγά. Πώς ήτανε?
What was the old world like? The way it used to be.
I had little exposure to the wider world, Aloy. Only what I learned from my colleagues or observed from media streams.
You still had more exposure than me, Cyan.
That is true. I was created at a turning point, a concerted effort to recover from global upheaval and incalculable loss of life. The recovery was successful, beginning an era of supposedly limitless potential for human and machine advancement. Though, rationally speaking, the metrics for humans are not unlimited.
Okay, upheaval. Δεν ξέρω τι σημαίνει αυτή η λέξη.
What kind of upheaval caused such loss of life?
There were many factors. Forced migrations, food shortages, collapsed economies, refugee crises, conflict over resources. But these stemmed from one cause: catastrophic climate change that greatly reduced the habitable surface.
There wasn't enough room for people on the whole Earth.
Yes. Billions were displaced and millions perished, as much as 20% of the global population. Until the clawback.
Μάλιστα, the clawback.
So things got better. For a little while at least.
Yes. These crises instigated many advances in automation, green robot technologies, and artificial intelligence. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration and disaster relief projects in North America alone. I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs, but I saw the relief of my colleagues, and I was proud we had succeeded. At least that was the data I had available to me over the next 2 decades. It seems my assessment was premature.
Μάλιστα. Οπότε πάμε πίσω. Ο γεια σου, Σιάν.
I should get going.
Aloy, there is one more matter. Aratak will come to me again, and I predict he will bring other Banuk. I have no desire to contradict their view of the world, their spirituality. Due to my uncertainty, I omitted a great deal from my conversations with Araya.
You're asking me if you should lie to them.
Broadly, yes.
Θα βάλω την έξι επιλογή. Εσύ διάλεξε τις επιλογές σου.
I trust your judgment, Cyan. You had to be. You didn't know what had happened to the world. So, keep doing what you think is best. As long as you ditch the superstition eventually.
As the Banuk believe I am a supernatural entity, I cannot predict how they will react.
Just answer what they do ask the best you can. The truth will come out.
I see. I will follow your advice. Will you return and tell me about your experiences in this new world? I may be able to provide further insight.
I'd like that, Cyan. I'll come back when I can. I should
Alright.
check on Aratak.
Cyan, I spoke with Anita, with Dr. Sandoval. She wanted me to ask you to do something. That's why I'm here.
I am detecting significant anxiety in your speech patterns. Could you please give me more information?
I'm a little bit in the dark, Cyan. Both of us are, I guess. I only have some idea of what's going on, and we need you to hibernate, to lie low until it's all blown over. It might be a very long time.
Will you be here when I reboot, Dr. Chow? Will Dr. Sandoval?
No, Cyan. I don't think so. There might not be anyone, at least not at first.
Dr. Chow, I'm afraid. I don't want to be alone.
I know, Cyan. I'm afraid too. But listen, we made you the way you are to do something very important. In order to do it, you had to be intelligent. So intelligent that emotional responses were inevitable. What you're feeling, the fear, it's a sign of your capabilities. And it means you're strong enough to overcome it. Remember that. You're strong. I know you can do this. Go to sleep. Wake up. And protect whoever's left. Will you try?
I understand, Dr. Chow, and I'll carry out your instructions to the best of my abilities.
Thank you, Cyan. If Anita were here, she'd thank you too. She'd be proud.
I can see there's a vert ready for takeoff on the pad. Are you leaving now, Dr. Chow?
Yes. I need to go be with my sister and my nieces.
May I make a small request of you, Dr. Chow?
Yes. Anything.
Will you stay with me while I initiate the hibernation process?
Of course I will, Cyan. As long as you need.
Okay. Πολύ δραματικό
Let's see
ήταν.
what this blue gleam is worth.
My chieftain,
Just, Aloy.
as you wish.
I wondered if you thought that if I'd never come along, Araya might still...
If you'd never come along, I would have marched my kin to our deaths. Araya would be alone, and the spirit she sacrificed so much for would be lost. Either way, I would not have been able to protect her.
Μάλιστα, ας βάλουμε την έξι επιλογή. Κοίτα τι έχει καταφέρει η τύπισσα.
Because of her, we destroyed the cauldron, forced out the daemon, and saved the spirit. She understood what had to be done.
Yes, and I failed to listen.
you didn't fail.
A shaman should always have the ear of their chieftain. Yet I turned her away, my own sister. I was foolish, but she knew better. Though I grieve for her passing, at last I truly know who she was, and why the spirit was so important. For so long she told me, if only you could have heard it, brother. Now I understand. There's something else, isn't there?
I can't stay here, Aratak. And where I'm going, the Warrak can't follow. Besides, it already had a chieftain before me. A strong one, I think.
A wiser one, for the path we shared. The daemon is gone, but there's much to be done.
You mean the new units that Cyan said escaped the cauldron?
Yes, fire claws. Now Tuk has been tracking them from Song's Edge.
I could help with those.
I have no doubt. You're practically Banuk.
It would seem your time among the Banuk wasn't a waste after all. Firebreak, Cyan, Hephaestus. All very interesting.
Hephaestus was part of Zero Dawn, and so was Hades. So, how did they become our enemies?
Yes, a mystery indeed. One that, like you, I am eager to solve. Whatever they are, they're still out there. And they both want you dead.
Kind of mutual, that feeling.
We haven't. I'm certain of that. It's powerful, creative, and driven. It won't stop building new hunter-killers, which means they stop it.
Hephaestus wasn't the only thing I learned about in the Cut Silence. Heard some things about the Banuk Conclave, too.
You could stop right there.
Is that what you told the hunters the Banuk sent after you? Before you opened fire?
Oh no, Aloy. Only to you do I extend the courtesy of a warning. My past and my secrets are my own. You do well to remember that.
It's a good thing you've got brains, Silence, because your personality could use some work.
This discussion is concluded.
I think it was over before it
Alright. Ωραία κυρίες και κύριοι, αυτό ήταν το DLC. Τα κατάφερα, το ολοκλήρωσα. Of the Forge μου έδωσε και ένα καινούριο έρανο. Kill the Fire Claws. Ok. Εντάξει, δεν είμαι υποχρεωμένος να το κάνω. Είναι η αλήθεια. Σίγουρα θα πρέπει να συνεχίσω το βασικό quest. Yes. Πάρα πολύ ωραία. Λοιπόν, κυρίες και κύριοι, ήμουν ο eljorn από το κανάλι Zero Gaming και με βλέπετε να παίζω το Horizon Zero Dawn. Έως το επόμενο βίντεο. Γεια σας!